The Art of Living Wisely by Arthur Schopenhauer. Aristotle divided the goods in people's lives into three types: material goods, moral goods, and physical goods. This indicates that human life is governed by three conditions: existence, and it is what we are, which is related to a person's personality; possession, which is what we own; and representation, which is how we appear in the eyes and scales of others. What makes a person happy in this life is what he feels inside and the decisions he makes. Because a person's view of himself and his relationship with the things around him, whether the material entities or his relationships with the people surrounding him, is determined by what lies deep within his soul. This fundamental factor is what makes people affected differently by their surrounding circumstances. What makes one person happy may not necessarily make another person feel the same way, and what saddens one person may not concern another at all. This is primarily due to the fact that each individual is a direct product of their perceptions, feelings, and intentional actions. For example, on a theater stage, an actor may embody all kinds of characters, such as princes, leaders, and soldiers, but this impersonation is only in their outward appearance. The inner essence remains constant because it is the core of each person. Bit to remember, the essence of a human remains constant, and it is what affects his relationship with the things and people around him. It has been previously mentioned that a person's nature and constant essence greatly contribute to his happiness or unhappiness when compared to others. In other words, a person's happiness is largely inherent within himself, in the depths of his soul. For example, if a person's disposition is bad, all the pleasures of the world will not be beneficial to him. Therefore, no matter how lucky or unlucky a person's circumstances may be, it will not affect their satisfaction except in certain cases. The most important thing is how a person interacts with these things. The main factor that determines our happiness is what is inside our souls and greatly contributes to shaping our relationship with things. All other factors are secondary in determining a person's happiness. That is why there is a saying that goes, "Old habits die hard." To develop our inner selves or what our souls hold, we should lean towards humor because it has a direct impact on achieving our happiness. Humor provides enough reason to achieve a large amount of inner joy. Whenever joy arises, we should greet it with enthusiasm and a warm welcome, instead of hesitating to accept it. We should embrace it because it is capable of giving us doses of happiness that are difficult to find in our modern world. Therefore, we can conclude that happiness is not a list of possessions such as villas, cars, or travels as some may assume. Instead, it is this inner richness, the richness of the mind and soul, which raises its owner as much as it distances him from boredom and its causes. Bit to remember, the nature and constant essence of a person greatly contribute to his happiness or unhappiness. Epicurean, one of the great Greek philosophers, divided human needs into three basic categories: natural and necessary needs, such as food and clothing; natural needs that are not necessary, such as sexual desire; and finally, needs that are neither natural nor necessary, such as the desire for luxury, extravagance, and a feeling of greatness. What should be noted in this regard is that there is a significant variation between individuals in terms of their level of satisfaction with what they possess. Ownership or lack thereof cannot be measured by relative quantities determined through the relationship between desires and wealth. For example, a person who has not think about wealth and blessings, and did not wish, will not feel deprived of them but will feel fully satisfied in their absence. On the other hand, others who possess these blessings will feel deprived in their absence or lack. Therefore, the effort that a person makes to raise their aspirations, desires, and expectations is the source of all the dissatisfaction they feel. Bit to remember, the variation between individuals in their level of satisfaction with what they possess is the reason for their happiness or unhappiness. All of our psychological problems and internal disasters, which lead us to fragility and the inability to continue on our path, stem from being prisoners of the opinions of others about us. One of the things that we should pay great attention to is that our concern with the judgments of others about us should be minimal if we want to maintain our mental health. The problem is that although a person is aware that caring about the opinions of others has negative consequences, they tend to take it for granted without realizing its dangers and difficulties. For example, we can compare a person to a cat that purrs when a human strokes its back. Similarly, a person who is praised will experience a special ecstasy, especially if the praise focuses on their ambitions and aspirations. In order to break free from the narrowness of the opinions of others, whether negative or positive, we must evaluate ourselves by comparing ourselves to how others perceive us. This is what will increase our happiness and satisfaction with ourselves. What we are is what fills our inner and spiritual being, without being prisoners of the opinions of others about us. In any case, it is such a great misery when a person fails to achieve his internal satisfaction and spiritual existence and seeks it from others, as he is compensating for reality with imagination and facts with fantasies. Therefore, a person's realization of this simple truth at the right time can bring him much goodness and abundant benefits, and bring him all the causes of eternal happiness. Bit to remember, reducing our level of concern with the judgments of others about us can help maintain our mental health.